Hi, and welcome to Publishing Power. My name is Joellen, and I'm your host today. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about what do you need when it comes to professional editing, and what are your options out there. This is a question we get a lot here at First Editing, and I'd like to just cover that briefly as we did last week and go a little bit more in detail of the different items that you want to look at. Now, I have put together PowerPoint here for you at the end, so please go ahead and feel free to download that, take a look, visit us at www.firstediting.com, and we'll have all that information there available for you, and reach out to us and we'll be gladly send it to you if you need to. So professional editing, what is it that you need and what is it that you want to get provided? There's basically 10 steps to successful editing, and what I'd like to talk to you about today is what you're going to learn, which is how to evaluate what your manuscript needs, how to get the best price and find the qualified editors that are appropriate for your editing project, and of course, where are you in your editing journey? That's very important in determining what you need and what you'll get. Who can you trust for editing? Where do you turn to find that editing help that you're seeking out there? What determines your editing price? There are several factors that key into that, and you need to be aware of what those are, because by preparing correctly, you can actually save a lot of time and money. There's also when you should start with a professional editor. That's a variety of choices there, and you want to make sure that you choose what is best for you. Which editing service do you need? Again, we're comparing line, content, and copy editing. And where can you find editing or free help online? There are a lot of editing tools out there. I'd like to just kind of mention a few so we can go through those, and why professional editing is necessary. It's not something you can just skip over if you want to make the best impression out there. There are millions of people, and you want to make sure that your presentation is taken seriously when they finally get it. And lastly, how does editing help you reach all of your goals that you're striving for? So it all starts with self-editing, and sometimes we skip this part, which I think is most important for all the writers out there. Is it's valuable to learn how to self-edit, and that means looking at your documents in new, fresh eyes, going through it again and again, and being aware of what your challenges are and what your strengths are so that you can share that with your professional editor. So you're going to use a lot of online editing tools out there. One of my favorites is Pro Writing Aid. They have a plugin, they have an extension, and they have inline editing, and it's all free. You can get that online. Of course, there's an upgrade for premium that you can also choose, and I do highly recommend that. All of our editors use that as an additional tool in their services, and of course that helps them provide the best editing possible. Then of course, if you're doing fiction writing, we do recommend you check out Fictionary. That's another one of our favorites out there, so check those out. Of course, you have your track changes, and there's a million more online that you can find. Just depends upon what you prefer and what works best for you. So we'll also, at the end of this, there is a free ebook. It's called Your Editing Journey, How to Make Your Manuscript Shine. Please feel free to download that, because this will help you succeed in using a proven method, as we've had hundreds and thousands of people edit and then go on to successfully publish. Well, we should say tens of thousands have edited with us, and thousands have gone on to successfully publish. So again, let's go back to those first 10 steps for successful editing. You need to evaluate what your manuscript needs, and when we're doing that, this will help you determine, do you need a copy editor, a line editor, or a content editor? And a content editor is also called a developmental, substantive, or structural editor, and they quite often do story editing also. When you compare editing services and when each level is necessary, you're going to look at those types of editing to determine what best suits you. Development editing is available for people who call themselves the panters. That means that they fly by the seat of their pants. And by flying by the seat of the pants means that they're not creating an outline. They're not creating any kind of structure as much as they are letting the muses inspire them and writing accordingly. There's variations of that, but again, that's me just playing a little bit there. But Panters are out there and they like a little more freedom in their creativity. Developmental editing is also ideal for planners, those who have an outline, a structure, and they really want to see if they're meeting that. And that's very helpful when working with a professional editor to have that and share that with them. And of course, the last one is my book any good? Do you like it? And that's a question we get again and again. So if you're looking into that, please check and we'll of course help you take a look at that. And I do recommend again, when you're at that stage, you're going to need developmental editing. Line editing, that's the one that we probably need to clarify most. Line editing is the one that most professors and agents, they recommend this. So it is based upon revisions and revisions and revisions. And that's when you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and polishing, polishing, polishing. Copy editing is the last one that you are going to complete before you go into formatting. So again, please be aware that copy editing is not the basic editing that everyone needs. Copy editing is the last one. It's your final set of professional eyes to look through it. And I would recommend getting a copy editor that is different from your line editor, because you want fresh eyes if you can. And it's quite important to have just that last review so that we know that it's correct before you go into formatting. Proofreading, people use that word a lot, and it's not editing. Just so you know, proofreading is something that's conducted after the formatting. Make sure that your book is all displaying correctly, and it might catch any of those last minute errors that are overlooked. And again, we are human. We're all human. So we're looking there again and again. I read all the bestsellers out there, and it's amazing what can still slide through, but that's part about life, and we're okay with that. So let's just find out what we can do here. On the second step, you want to get the best price, and you want to find the qualified editors to get rid of any of those possible mistakes. So the best price is to hire only qualified, successful editors. And to do this, to get the best price, you want to use the writing tools I talked about. Any online tools. You might want to read your book backwards, front to back. You want to read it separately. You need to put it down, walk away from it. So do all that self-editing first, and then go through all the revisions, not publicly, maybe with a friend or two, but again, do that so that you know where you're going, because it's very, very important there. So once you've done that, you can compare the editors that we talked about and decide which one is best for you. If it's going to be a content editor, a line editor, or a copy editor. And where are you in your editing journey? That's part 3 there. Where are you? Are you in the structural outline and developmental phase? If so, then you're going to want that content edit. If you're in the multiple revisions phase, then of course you're looking at a line edit. And if you're in that final edit right before you want to go into formatting, you are done, you are not writing anymore, you're just fixing it and ready to go, that is your copy editing. And then after you have that formatted, then you want to go ahead and get into your proofreading. So editing is not a linear journey. It's kind of circular. You can go front and back, and as you change and correct things or add and subtract, you may go forward a bit, you may take 2 steps back. It's something that you need to be prepared for, that it does take time, and you want to invest that time because it's really one of the most important stages outside of the writing that you're going to do. So who can you trust for editing? That's our 4th step. Well, you can't trust your mother. You can't trust your best friend. You cannot trust your teacher or your colleague, because they're all wanting you to succeed, and it's going to be hard for them to be honest with you. It's going to be hard for them to be neutral. It's going to be hard for them to be professionals, because they're normally not. So again, you only want an experienced, educated, vetted, meaning that they've been qualified for the work that you're providing them. Professionals who have experience, who have success, and can show you how they've helped others successfully publish. That's who you want to trust. So what can you expect from one of these people, these professionals? Well, you should be able to view their work. So I recommend send a portion of your document. We would like to see your entire document so that we can review it and take a look at it and determine what it is that you need and where you are in the journey. Professional editor can do this quite easily. They can do it quite quickly, and that allows them to assess how much time and energy, your strengths, your weaknesses, and give you a full recommendation. Listen to that recommendation, because that is very important. You do not want to buy less than what you need. And any editor who will let you buy less than what you need is doing a huge disservice to both you and themselves, because it won't make you look as good as you can, and it'll definitely look poorly on them if they don't make it look as best as it can be. So you also want to get references, make sure that they've had success with other authors. Just look into their portfolio, see what's out there. We keep one online. It's very important that you can see the hundreds of editors that have successfully published and gone on. Confirm and talk about, give your instructions of what you want, and then tell them what you need. If you know you have challenges or a style guide that you need to match, then that's important. They're going to give you a price up front. And that should be solid. It should not be something that changes. So make sure that you understand and agree to that. And they're also going to provide you with a timeline. That timeline will help you know how to proceed and gives you a little bit of break while they do the hard work behind the scenes. Lastly, they'll have a way of communicating with you and let you know if you find any errors or if you have any questions, if you'd like some clarifications on how to go forward with that. So again, all those different factors determine the editing price. So how much does good editing cost? Well, it's based again on your needs, where you are in your process or the phase of writing, and of course, what you want. So some additional services you may consider when you're looking for professional editing services is professional book editing, professional coaching for authors, a professional critique or review of your writing, professional revision of your manuscript and your novel. You want to get approval of where you are and what you're doing. So again, that's very important to reach out to them. Approval that it's ready to be submitted to an agent, to a different publishing house. And then of course you want to get that final proofread. So give it to them, discuss what you want, what you need, and they can give you a better outline of what's available and what possibly would serve you best. So that being said, when should you start with an editor? Well, when you have a fully outlined manuscript is definitely 100% ready to go. If you've completed your self-editing, you can definitely start with editing then. When you've simply had enough of looking at your manuscript, looking at your novel, and you need a break, you can definitely reach out for a professional book editor. And always, always, always get some editing, have an editor look at your writing before you share or distribute. So which editing services do you need? Again, back up, look at your status, what your needs are, your goals, and what the editor has recommended. And I think you have to start from there and you can add on if you like. Where can you find editing assistance or free help online? Again, go online, look for writing tools, look for those different things. I do recommend that you check out Pro Writing Aid. There are also writing groups and beta readers out there. Be careful. There's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions and read a lot, but may or may not have been down the process, may not have successfully edited. So you need to make sure that you have that. And then of course you can read books and blogs, and there's all kinds of courses online if you want to learn how to edit or learn how to publish or write a book. There's lots of things out there. But again, I think you need to be careful and choose one or two, maximum 3, and then block everything else out, because we are in information overload in this world right now. And you need to be successful in completing it rather than being overly educated and underachieving what your goals are. So that's just my opinion, but I do say beware. Too much knowledge can be overwhelming. So why is professional editing necessary? Well, this is your biggest investment. It is a hefty amount of money that you will put out for editing. You can pay anywhere from a couple of pennies per word to thousands of dollars for your manuscript. This is your baby. You've put a lot of time and energy and love into this. So let's make sure that you give them the best foundation to get started in life. And a lot of this is your reputation, how you are perceived as an author, as a writer. So be careful with that. You only get one first impression, and you want to make sure that it's right, and you want to make sure that you have the best choice for which editor serves you best. So how does editing, lastly, help you reach your goals? Well, it's going to help you fulfill your purpose and your manuscript's purpose, be that to entertain, to educate, to inspire, to tell a story, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that you're doing that, and helps you fulfill your personal goals too. So tell your story and get your credibility out there, write the book, become a published author, and of course sell these books and this information out there. So all of that are your goals, and the editor, a professional book editor, is going to help you clarify your voice, smooth your presentation, convey your ideas and your story in a very well, clear, and concise manner, so that your reader is engaged and enjoys and looks forward to your next manuscript. They're going to critique your skills, and they're basically going to confirm your strengths and weaknesses within your craft. So again, these are the different steps that are out there. Those are the 10 steps to finding a professional book editor and achieving your goals. So I do encourage you, reach out, look around, and we'll go in depth on each of those in the next session. Thank you for joining me here at Publishing Power. My name's Joellen. You can find more information at publishingpower.com, or you can visit us for professional book editing services specifically, which we're focusing on right now, you can visit us at firstediting.com. That's firstediting.com. And I look forward to reaching out and communicating with you more. If you have any questions, please let us know. And remember, follow along, and we'll see you at our next podcast.